Okay, hi Josh. Just a quick one. I've got one of your TMAs loaded up at the moment. So a couple of ways that you can save out all of these individually. So what I'm working on, and this is the assumption, is each of these cores you want to export as an individual core labeled with the coordinates, so A1, A2, A3, B2, B3, etc. If that's right, then we're all good. If it's not, let me know, and I'll have a look into what you need. But there's a couple of different ways that we can play around with this. The first is if we go up to here, we've got a TMA de-arrayer. So I've already done a quick measurement of this. It looks like they're going to be around about the 2.1 mil mark. So we're going to put that diameter in here. We can relabel these now. You know, we can leave it as 1 to 16 A to J. It's only going to fill in the ones that it can find anyway. Label order, we can do column first. Density threshold and bound scale factor, you may need to have a play around with those, but effectively if we press run, what we should end up with is an array of all of our TMA cores. Now you can see it's not kind of matching up exactly where we need it to be. If we go up into hierarchy, you can see we're actually able to select them, but 2A is actually realistically sort of 3A, so it's missing one out. We can grab these and drag them over. This is kind of like a semi-automated way. Double click on the next one, we can move those over. So we do have a little bit of leeway of actually being able to sort of move these ones around. Now I'm not 100% sure if we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should be 6A. And we can't really edit the names of them, unfortunately. We can actually, no, we can. So we can maybe sort of do row first. That's only going to change the names that are actually in there. So obviously that's going to be a little bit fiddly to set up for you. But effectively what we can then do is just export these individually. What I'm kind of hoping might suffice, it's a little bit of a manual method, but if we go to here, we're going to delete the TMA grid. We're going to clear that off. Now, we can manually add in annotations on this software. So if we press O, it's basically a shortcut key for the ellipse tool. And we can actually then just draw our own TMA core over the top of there. We can move it around. We can resize it to wherever we want. You can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel on the mouse until you're happy with the area that you're looking at. Depends on exactly how accurate you need this, but realistically, press O again to get the next core to draw it, and again you just basically can follow these through and grab all of those off. Once you're happy with that, if we go over to the left hand side window, we can actually right click on there, we can set properties, and we can actually rename these ourselves. If that's going to be what you want. So you can literally just rename each of these as and when you need to. So go set properties, A2, or whichever way around you want to label them. A3. So now what happens is what we can do is come up to here, go to File, Export Images as original pixels. Now, you will, and this is I think where you are running into some issues. If we don't do any subsampling, it's going to say that there's too many pixels, and this is because the resolution of the image has too many pixels for the for ImageJ to handle in terms of being able to export them. Now, realistically, we're probably oversampled from what you need, and I'm gonna subsample, downsample by 2. So effectively, we're halving the resolution. We're quartering the file size. I'm gonna save it out as a JPEG just to prove something, because you can save it as TIFF. It runs it through ImageJ. You can save it as an OME TIFF. OME TIFFs will be the biggest file size. Each of these cores in my test was coming out as a TIFF file of about 130 meg, which is pretty big. So what we want to do is try the JPEG out first. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to give it this name. We'll just leave it at that for the moment. I'm going to dump it onto my desktop, and once it is finished saving, so I'm just going to drag that back over into this window for you so you can see what's happening. So we've got our JPEG. We can open that up, and realistically, the resolution that's there should be enough. Once we start to zoom in, it should actually be enough for you to do what you need. It's not going to be, it's not giving us like much pixelation. Even as a JPEG, that's actually not looking too bad. And if we start looking at the file sizes of that, well, we're only talking like 6.4 meg, which means it's going to be able to transfer quite easily if you need to send it off to your overseas people. So I'm just going to quit out of my preview for the moment, and then you can literally just repeat that process for each of these, and in turn export the images out. Now, if you export as an OME TIFF, you can actually do a pyramidal downsampling. That will actually let you have multiple resolutions within that one file size. But if we start playing around with this sort of stuff, it's going to get pretty hefty big pretty quickly, unfortunately. So again, just drag that over. And the OME TIFF you will then need to probably load into ImageJ in order to handle that file format. So we can probably get away with a JPEG. We can probably get away with 2 times downsampling if it is literally just to be able to send those out to whoever you need to send those out to. Let me know if this is a problem. So you can see the OME TIFF, it's not coming out with much of anything. That is because it is expecting it to be a 16-bit file, and it's not. So it doesn't have the dynamic range there that we need. But if you're happy with JPEG, then essentially you can literally just repeat that process for each of these in turn, and each of those will then get saved out as a separate image with the file name of the actual core number that it is. Let me know if that helps. As I said, the TMA is here, and we can start to play around with this, but it's not as accurate as it probably needs to be because there are cores missing. And it's not doing that auto detection as well as we would hope. So I'm happy to kind of have a play around with that and see if we can improve this for you. But let me know, and we'll find out what's going on. Okay then. So thanks a lot. Let me know how you get on, and we'll see how we go. Thanks.